Hey everyone, Chris Yee here with my top 10 oddball games of 2023. Strange ducks, weirdos, just unique, strange, or otherwise fun kind of games. And so I'm going to be talking about 10 that I've had the pleasure of playing because I've got to try so many different ones. These are some maybe that you missed or some that you should check out if you want something very different from the rest. So my number 10 is Blind Business. Blind Business is a game of kind of a double bluff type of thing. You have a hand of cards facing away from you, and on your turn you get to pick someone's hand, and you say, I want this card from your hand. They can either keep it themselves or trade it with you for one of the cards in your hand, but when they counteroffer, you can negate their counteroffer and just slam your own card down in front of you, which might be terrible, or it might be great, or you can accept the trade. So it's this weird mind game bluff, double bluff. It seems like something I shouldn't like. It seems like something that's kind of confusing, but once you get it down, it's very smooth playing and a lot of fun. I like there's a few different ways to win in this one, so Blind Business, my number 10. Number 9 is Tesseract, a cooperative game in which you take a display of cubes, of dice. You make one big cube of it on this Lazy Susan rotating platform in front of you, and you're drafting dice off of it to complete different sets and actions, but then also those dice will naturally wither away. That's kind of the co-op game playing against everyone, is those dice start going away and revealing bad things. It's odd, it's an interesting puzzle about halfway through the game, and so I didn't love the first half of the game, but I gotta give it props for being so different, a fun visualization, and something strange. So I like that about it. Number 8, 12 Chip Trick. This is one that trips me up trying to say it. So 12 Chip Trick is a very small trick-taking game. There's 12 chips in it, in fact. 16 if you play with 4 players. But you distribute these out. Everyone has a hand of 4 of them, and you're just playing one out at a time. And once everyone has played one in, the highest number gets to take one of those chips that's in there and place it in front of them as in the scoring area. And once someone has gotten 4 chips in their scoring area, everyone else takes the chips that are left in their hand, plays it face up into their scoring area, and you're trying to get closest to 21 without going over. If you bust, you can't score. And so it's a very slight, small game, beautiful production from Mandu Games, almost overproduced, but it makes for a very satisfying, fun game. As you're playing this, it feels like something you could play in a pub or something and just feel kind of elegant and fancy. But it's a weird, small game that works very nicely. That's my number 8, 12 Chip Trick. Number 7, Freaky Frogs from Outer Space. Outer Space is one word, as it should be. This is from resident freak Friedemann Friese. I love Friedemann Friese. It's just oddball nature of game design. I don't always like his games, but he does what he wants to, and mad props for that. And so this time he wanted to make Pinball, the card game. And so pinball machines are a hard game to make work as a board game, and so this is the roll and write from Jeff Engelstein. This one also feels like pinball. It's incredibly lucky. And you get to play 3 balls. And you know what? Each time that you play a ball out, you're playing a card that represents hitting it with your flipper. It goes up. You play another card that represents it, going down and hitting bumpers. You play another card that's like this little collection, the set collection of lights and stuff on the side. And this game is unabashedly super swingy. You might be playing a single ball for like 30 minutes. Just card after card after combo lets you draw new cards. Woo, I was running out. Boom, 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 boom. Or you might play 4 cards and be like, whoop, that sunk. That was literally 20 seconds of playing. And you might do fantastic, you might do terrible. That's how pinball works. And Friedemann Friese said, that's how this game's going to work. So my number 7, Freaky Frogs from Outer Space. Number 6, Rubber, Paper, Scissors. Hey, do you want a game that is 1/2 rock, paper, scissors and 1/2 tic-tac-toe? Me neither, and yet somehow this one completely works. You play rock, paper, scissors 9 times. There's a little grid, and you just kind of go around and you play rock, paper, scissors to see who wins each one. But the little gimmick to it is that whoever wins the rock, paper, scissors match can take a face-up token on that space, a mystery face-down one, or put their marker on that space. Then the loser gets to pick one of the 2 remaining options, then the winner gets the last remaining option. So you're trying to collect those tokens, you're trying to get 3 in a rows, horizontally, vertically, diagonally if you can on the tic-tac-toe board, and that's going to be your point collection at the end of the game. But if you get all 3 golden tokens off of that board, you instantly win the game. This is so strange and so excellent. Way more fun than it should be. Rubber, paper, scissors, my number 6. Number 5, Tricky Time Crisis. This is a trick-taking game that uses what's called must not follow. If you're not familiar with trick-taking games, you play a card out. Usually it's like the 4 of hearts. The next person has to play a hearts, the next person to play a hearts if they can, and it goes around the table once. Must not follow means that if I play the red suit, the next person cannot play the red suit, so they play the green one. The third person must not play red nor green. They cannot play the same color card. And the other twist in this one is that the purple suit is the super villain, Dr. Tricky Time. At the end of the round, once everyone has played a card into the middle, you're going to look at the purple card, the super villain, and see his number, 22. And then you're going to add up the values of the other 3 cards, the superheroes, trying to take down the supervillain. And whichever side played the higher amount is going to take cards and score them in front of themselves. And so either one might win. It scores differently. You don't want to have too many of the same suit, but also having a lot of the same suit means you're going to score points, but you'd rather have only one card because then you score its numerical value rather than just a few points per card. Strange game. I really like how every turn someone else might be the supervillain and compete against the other 3 cards. I like that a lot. So number 5, Tricky Time Crisis. Number 4, Take a Seat. This is a roll and write style game that feels unlike other roll and writes because every round you have these boards in between each player and then your own player board. You might say first round, everyone takes the little in-between thing from their right, cross off a circle on one of these different shaped tickets that are like polyominoes. Then you draw the remaining shape. As you cross things off, you make them smaller. You draw the remaining polyomino that's left over on your main player board. You're seating patrons at a theater. And so you're trying to get different, we've seen these roll and write scoring conditions. But then you pass those, you take the one from your left and you do the same thing. And that's a little area majority game that you're trying to have a lot of your marks on the same ticket stubs, but also as you put more marks, you're creating fewer spaces that are left over. That's what you get to draw. So it's this great dynamic. You choose powers or points every turn to go along with it. So very strange game, worth checking out the review for sure, but one that I feel like is one of the most fresh takes I've seen on the roll and write genre in a long time. That's why my number 4, Take a Seat. Number 3, Paperback Adventures. This is a big roguelike game. A lot of roguelikes and roguelites coming out. This one, you spell words. It's based off of the paperback deck building game. This is not a deck building game in the typical sense. It's a lot slower of deck building, but you spell words out every turn. You activate a power based on the card that's the top of your word, and then you splay them left or right, and there's defensive abilities or offensive abilities or special powers, all linked to the cards that you use to spell words. It's strange. I like it. It's long, and it's a solo-only adventure. You can play it. Some people co-op. One day I might sit down and be like, help me spell some words and stuff. But for a big, solo, long, epic, weird word game, this one stands out. My number 3, Paperback Adventures. Number 2, Redwood, a game of template movement. You are nature photographers out there trying to take pictures of different animals in different landscapes and sceneries. This one uses a lot of estimation. You have to grab 2 templates. One is a movement template, so you're trying to get to a certain area, to a certain angle to be able to take a picture of a bear with this type of backdrop, but you also want different flowers and stuff. And then you have to grab a lens, a wide-angle lens or a narrow, long lens or these in-betweens that you're going to then put on your miniature and try to overlap in a certain area to capture as much of that nature stuff as you can. Very unique amongst almost any game that I've played. Most template movement games are like Star Wars X-Wing, where you're trying to dogfight and shoot each other and stuff. This one being about set collection and nature photography. So cool, gorgeous, worth checking out. That's my number 2, Redwood. And then number 1, one of the most unique games I've played in a while, Wonder Bowling. This is a dexterity game from Itten. It's a little fun brick game. You set up these miniature bowling pins on the box, and then you whack the box with this little mallet that's included, and you're trying to knock over either a certain number of pins or all but one pin. And the fact that you're trying to do that, all but one pin is a strike. It feels so good to do it, but it's tricky. If you knock them all over, that's a penalty. I like that so much. It's ridiculous. It really is. It's a silly little gimmicky game, but one that I like playing a lot. One that's fun to pretend to take very seriously. Oh, I'm about to use my good form on this one. Watch out! You don't hit the pins, you hit the box, and you're just really trying to make them wiggle and fall over just right. Of course, there's no real, there's skill, but I mean, how measurable is it really? This game is so much fun, way more fun than it should be, strange and delightful. So that's my number one, Wonder Bowling. So there you go, 10 oddball, different, unique games from 2023. Let me know, of course, what yours are. If I missed any really cool, strange ones, I'd love to check them out. Thanks for coming by this top 10 list. I'm Chris Yee. Take care.